8 minutes past 7. Train commuting is at a third of pre-pandemic levels, whilst the number of car journeys is back to where they were in March 2020. This is the time. Sarah's taking a look at the weather for us. This is 11 minutes past 7. Now, on the morning of September 11th, 2001, 20 years ago, thousands of firefighters ran towards the Twin Towers as others desperately tried to flee.
Now, many of those have been sharing their experiences, and one of those this morning is Nelson Haerr, who's one of thousands of firefighters on the scene that day. Breakfast John Maguire has been looking at events on the day.
I've got kind of a small tradition where I don't do a lot, but I do put the flag at half-mast, and it's just kind of my symbol of remembering. It's kind of a quiet way to show my respect.
A hotel surrounded by the mountains of North Wales is a world away from the skyscrapers of Manhattan. But 20 years ago, Nelson Haerr was a New York firefighter.
I walked out of my house and looked up and thought, and I actually inhaled and said, oh, what a nice day. It was a beautiful, September day.
Nelson moved here to Llanrwst, his wife Mary's hometown, 15 years ago, after the couple met in New York. On September the 11th, 2001, he was off shift. But when the World Trade Center was hit, he dropped everything and reported to his firehouse.
Before we left, we saw one tower had fallen. We saw it fall on the news. And then while we were commuting down there, the second tower collapsed. So that was the scene when we arrived, it was just rubble. No, rubble's the wrong word. It was like powder, like when you snow ski, white, just gray powder and papers and stuff everywhere, like a foot and a half deep. So, and then just the chiefs, and they were just kind of rapidly, trying to figure out the best way to deploy us.
Despite the unprecedented scale of the devastation, the firefighters went in.
As we walked to the ground zero, we grabbed tools off of abandoned fire trucks and tried to complement our tool set. We picked up airbags. We thought, well, if we're gonna have to move any heavy beams or whatever, we just tried to think, how can we be as useful as possible? And that was the heartbreaking thing, was that there was not a lot to rescue.
9 men from his firehouse died that day. Colleagues, friends, brothers.
The guys that we lost were more of our senior guys. They had anywhere from like 12 to 16 years on the job. And it was just, in a firehouse, you want guys around you that have experience. Experience equals safety. To lose your senior men was just a real kick. Very hard. But as far as hope to find them, that passion, to find our men was there for days, weeks. We were driven, as every company was down there. Every firehouse was looking for their guys, and that was difficult because you knew that they wouldn't stop to find you. They wouldn't take a break. They would keep working, and so we worked hard to try to find them, and it was very that part was sad. We couldn't find them. Yeah.
And that desperate search, now a recovery operation, continued for months.
We just kept going, but little by little they said, all right, they said, you guys with family, go home, see your families. They had to like make them go home. Sorry. So, but me, like, I was single, so I thought it's better, I don't have family, so I can keep working. And so we would work. Our shifts at the firehouse. They said, work your shifts, take a break. But the guys at our house just kept going back and looking.
As the days and weeks passed, New Yorkers turned to their fire department as a focus for their collective grief.
Every firehouse is like a community. There's the neighborhood around it. It's like it's their firehouse. And so everybody came to us to grieve, to talk, to help. And so all day long, when we were almost grateful when there was an emergency, because we could go and get back to do our job. When the apparatus door was up all day long and people came and the city needed to grieve, it helped them, and so we had to have kind of like a brave face.
For weeks afterwards, no one knew whether or not there would be more attacks, When the emergency bells rang, firefighters feared the worst. Then one day, Nelson read a letter from a child.
Dear Nelson, I really think you are helping a lot for America. You are the best. I know that some of your buddies have gone ahead, but you just stand tall. And don't be afraid. I can't. Sorry. Well, anyway, yeah. Oh, sorry, it makes me cross. I can't. I struggle with that. It shouldn't make me hard. It shouldn't be difficult to read. But all I mean is just having this in my hat. That's all I needed, and it worked. This was my magic charm. The kids know. So, yeah. As soon as I read that, I folded up and I keep it in my hat, and the anxiety went away because I thought that's why we're doing it for these kids. You know, we're protecting people. Our motto is to never forget, and I figure that then it's okay if I tell my experience, then that's my way of remembering and honoring those that we lost.
Every September is difficult, and today, 20 years on, Nelson believes those who lost their lives on the 11th must always be remembered. John Maguire, BBC News, North Wales.
We can talk now to Michelle Cruz.